Alrighty. Let's keep the pain train rolling. Run a test. See if that test pushes through. And there we go. Okay. So we have a whole bunch of enemies. Ooh, a whole bunch of enemies. And all of these enemies need an attack. Okay. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we kind of need for these enemies. So... Lots and lots and lots and lots of work. Okay. Hi again. Hello again indeed. So if we're gonna go and insert one to the right, these are the animations that we need to make for each enemy. Okay? So we gotta do... Actually, I might as well just lump them up in here. Ghost Doctor. Animations. Animations. Oh man, I can't believe how much work there is. I mean, I do believe how much work there is, but still. Warlock. What sort of animations do we need for this guy? So we need walking. And we're gonna go push these this side. Walking, blocking. We're gonna have close combat, defense. Close combat defense. We probably want something like ranged spawn, ranged fireball. Actually, there's no... It's not... Spawn is not arranged. It's just a... spawn... Ghoul spawn. Close combat defense. Ranged dire ball. That's... What the hell? Okay, here we go. Blocking, close combat defense, ghoul spawn, ranged fireball. And... Do we need anything else? Yeah, I try not to go overboard with these things. Good God. Right. Walking, blocking, close combat, defense. Oh yeah, and death animation, as well as the I don't think we need a spawn animation. Yeah. See, we do have a spawn animation for the eyeball creature, but that's just because, you know, I was bored and I'm an idiot and I jumped into making animations before I had the rest of the stuff figured out. So I think I don't think we need a spawn animation. Eh? Yeah, because these enemies are not going to be spawning out of nowhere. I mean, there's spawn units or there's spawn objects, like for example the crypts. They open up and enemies fly out of them. But these guys aren't supposed to be spawning, so We just need the death animation for these guys. They're already going to be present in a room as soon as the game starts, or you enter the level. Okay. Hornet found me on Twitter. Yay. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for the follow. Okay. Walking, blocking, close combat defense. So if you get too close, you'll do like a swipe thing, and maybe right after swiping, you see, to keep the players at bay, right after swiping, he will also do like a fireball attack. So let's see, close combat defense. Let's put a note here. So I'll say insert note. To keep players off if players get too close and lay multiple attacks. The warlock will swipe the staff to knock back the players, followed by a fireball. How do you spell barrage? Fireball barrage. Whoops, don't clear notes. Ah, damn it. I just pressed the wrong button. Wait. Yes, thank you. I can undo that. Okay, to keep players off if the player gets too close, and lay multiple attacks, or get multiple attacks, get multiple hits. The warlock will swipe the staff to knock the players back, knock them on their asses, followed by a fireball barrage. So anything and everything to keep the players off, of it. Ghoul spawn is kind of self-explanatory. Ghoul spawn and ranged fireball, these two can actually share the same animation. So we can just kind of... They can share the animation. We have the death animation and the walking animation. Close combat defense. You also need like a hurt animation. That's just one enemy. One enemy. Out of all of these, that's one enemy. Holy crap. Okay, alright. That's fine. That's fine. We can do this. You know that meme with the dog sitting at the table? Everything's fine. Everything's okay. Yeah. When you start doing prep like this, the real scope of how much work you have to put into the game becomes apparent. And this is often a make or break point for a lot of developers, right? It's great when you start with an idea, because an idea could be anything, and an idea has no scope. It's not until you start making the game when you realize how much work you've already put in, and then you can gauge in how much work still has to go in. So, yeah. This is fine, indeed. Okay. So we got the warlock, the brute. Okay, well, I'll come back to these afterwards. So warlock, walking, blocking, close combat, defense, ghoul spawn. So let's work on the generic ones for the time being, right? So we've got this guy. You know what, maybe we'll even do something like this. You stay on the left, while you stay on the right. All this is doing is postponing the inevitable. Brute. Okay. Walking. Charging. Close combat defense. Okay, so brutes don't spawn, but brutes smash. Smash. Smash weapon. Smash weapon, right. And then we have the attacks. Or swipe attacks. God damn it. Come on. Yeah. Google Sheets is not handled the same well as Excel does. So with the Brute, Brute has a charging animation. Walking. The charging is not charging attack. Close combat defense, smash, weapon, attack. We got swipe attacks. So these are just regular old swinging the hammer. So what is like left, or you could try left, right, or right, left, and you could try right, left, and then smash on the ground. Something of that sort. What else? What else can we do? Would you guys rather prefer a stream with music or without music? Just out of curiosity. I feel like I can concentrate a little bit better without music, but sometimes when there's nobody in the stream, that could also get very boring and mundane, and the music does keep me focused in that sense. All right. Okay. Walking, blocking, close combat defense, ghoul spawn, ranged fireball, death, hurt. Brute, walking, charging attack, close combat defense, smash, swipe attack, hurt, and death. Okay, so both is fine. What I'm thinking is, for this, maybe every enemy can have some sort of like a toughness gauge. A toughness gauge would basically determine how much you have to hurt an enemy before the enemy can play the hurt animation. Because technically, while the enemy is hurt, right, it's like this type of thing, right? When you hit the when you hit one of these eyeballs, they have a hurt animation that kind of knocks them back and, you know, turns them down a peg. What I'm thinking is that you can probably I'd have to test it out, but maybe we can have like a toughness thing. So let's say how tough is the enemy, and that will determine how many hits you have to lay on an enemy before the sort of a hurt animation can actually play back. So bigger, you know, meatier enemies would probably not get hurt like by a measly tiny little sword attack, right? You probably want the player to lay down a few hits before visibly showing that, oh, that did enough damage for, you know, to cause some sort of an effect. I think it's from the 50s at least. 50s music you had on streams was nice. 50s music. So not the one that I've been playing recently, is it? Oh, the 50s is in... I see. So it's like oldies, basically. Yeah, okay. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, this guy needs a death animation, too. Right now, he just kind of disappears. Okay. I'm sorry. My friend's sending me images for the tabletop game memes, so to speak. And it's hilarious. 'Cause he's playing as orcs. So I'm looking up images that are related to or memes that are related to Tau and orcs, because I play the Tau Empire, so it's like this is one of the units that I can command. It's like it's all gone a bit target rich down there. Oh, that's, board game memes. Oh, that's such a niche market. Okay, so Brute. How many swiping animations are there going to be? So it's like left, 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 right, and then left, left, right, smash. But, yeah. Walking, charging, attack, close combat, defense, smash, weapon, attack, swipe, attack, hurt, and death. I'm treating this enemy like it's a boss fight. This is way too many. Way too many animations. But we'll see how it turns out. So, Apothecary Phantom. Let me just cover the generic ones, and then we'll work on that. We'll come back and we'll figure out the animations for the other one. Apothecary Phantom. So this is Appear, Vanish. Then it's the how do you spell this? Sickle. Arm. What was it? Hammer and what? Sickle. Okay. So this is the sickle attack. Appear, vanish, sickle attack. That's the weapon for the Apothecary Phantom. Vanish, appear, vanish, sickle attack. And I guess hurt and death. I mean, that's about it. I think. He doesn't have any special attacks, but his move is pretty powerful because he can disappear, right? He can vanish. So that's already a pretty powerful ability to completely disappear from the player's view. So I'm thinking that should maybe be enough. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be a while until I get to this guy. The ghouls are gonna be simple. So ghoul, and not only is there a ghoul, there's also a. So there's a hollow ghoul. These are passive. They don't attack you. And then there's a hostile ghoul. The hollow ghoul are just the ones that kind of lost their spirit to fight. So the hollow ghoul just has a death animation. That's really just it. Death animation, like whatever active animation or like live idle animation, and this would really be either them sitting like by the wall, maybe kind of like or maybe there's gonna be one that's kind of up against the wall, scraping something on the wall, or maybe trying to put some markings or graffiti or whatever, something on the wall. But that's about it. These guys are kind of atmospheric or atmosphere building, just to establish that this world is not like some haunted land. It's populated with some sort of creatures that are barely alive, right? Because I know you have a lot of games where you enter a level and there's just nothing. There's no signs of life whatsoever. But what I like, for example, in Dark Souls is that if you go to Dark Souls in the Firelink Shrine, down below in the elevator, in the entrance to the New Londo ruins, there's actually passive NPCs scattered all over the all over the level. And you can attack them and you can get, you know, like a measly amount of souls from them, but they're still there to tell you that you're not alone in this world. There's other creatures there. And that's kind of what I'm shooting for here. It's not like all hostile creatures that all want to kill you. 90% of them do. But, you know, I think these would be nice. Okay, Hollow Ghoul, so that's fine. And then we have, oh, Jesus, come on. Where am I? Oh, wow. Then we have the Hostile Ghoul. Oh, Jesus, come on, what are you doing? Handles like a tractor, this spreadsheet. Okay. Hostile Ghoul. I got myself one of those $3 phone holders that you clip on the table with a long arm, and you can clip your phone on it. And I have a Bluetooth keyboard, like one that I bought many years ago, and I can actually like type in stuff while I'm laying in bed, which is great, on my phone in Google Docs. Super handy. Okay, so these guys have see, ghouls can be spawned by the warlock. So the spawn animation, swipe, attack animation, and then we have the backward dash animation. So you can, the enemies, or this particular enemy would be able to kind of evade your attack by dashing. Then we have the walk. Oh jeez, okay. I keep pressing control. Okay, walk. Walk and run. It's, you know, I don't know if we should really even have, like, maybe. Maybe. There'll be more stuff I have to code in. Let's see, walk, run, death, obviously. Hurt. Spawn the swipe attack. Backwards dash. Close combat. Should it have a close combat defense? I feel like it should. I feel like it would benefit from it. Close combat defense. Yeah. This list is getting bigger and bigger. The only solstice I have in this is that it's concept art, or it's pixel art, so might be a little bit easier. I don't know. Close combat defense. What else? Blocking. You see, not all of these guys have a blocking animation, so the Brute doesn't have one, but should the Brute have one? Blocking animation for the Brute. Maybe? Yeah. I don't know. Close combat defense. Smash weapon attack. Maybe. You know what? Nah. He's a Brute. He's a giant. He's a refrigerator. He's a giant hunk of meat walking around. So I think he'll be okay. He'll just have like an elevated HP count. So Brutes don't block; they only smash. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like Brutes usually they're overconfident about how big their like vitality is. their health points. So he already has a close combat defense, and if you want to lay hits, you have to be close combat, or you have to use your musket. But the musket would take a while to reload, so unless you purchase, musket reloading upgrades, which actually I should write it down, because so we have promote leveling up, okay, before tackling the Chamber of Hordes. Okay, so the musket doesn't just refer to the rifle, does it? Musket pistol? There's got to be a name for it. Flintlock pistol, not a musket. Flintlock pistol. Okay, so the only thing that you can upgrade here is the reload speed and raw power. Raw power. Maybe you can upgrade the barrel count. The barrel count would be how many shots you can actually fire. So it's like, it's kind of like having a double barrel shotgun. When you can put in, 2 shots into it, and then you have 2 shots. In this case, I think the top one will be max 3. So it'll be like 1, 1, and 1 on top, right? Raw power, yeah, that's fine, and reload speed. Okay. For weapons, I don't know. I don't really know. The problem with weapons is that since it's classical animation, I would have to animate every single run cycle, roll cycle, attack for a new animation. So right now we have a basic sword, and for the time being that will be all there is. It really takes a lot of work to animate these things, and especially since we're in classical animation, we can't really make a generic attack. We can't really make a generic attack and just swap out weapon designs from it. It will look weird, and it will look stupid, and it will look cheesy and cheap. So for now, we'll just stick to a basic sword. There's more than enough. There's more than enough things that we can do here afterwards. Skills of learned person. Skill scrolls. 1, 2, 3, and 4 swipe attacks. Roll ability to roll. Back dash. Sash. Backwards dash. It's not a dash. It's like when you slide back to get away from the enemy. But then again, I think I covered this actually. Do I need this if I already have a roll? That's what I'm kind of thinking. Okay. Right, so do we need a backwards dash? Yeah, if we have a roll, then I don't think we need anything else. Okay. Yeah, I think if we have a roll, we don't need anything else, so that should be fine. Okay. Now the swipe attack, I think that needs to have a few modes. So insert note. Okay. Single swipe, or double swipe. So single swipe, double swipe. Okay, separated by a pause. And double consecutive swipe. So double consecutive swipe, that's when you go and that basically gives you only one opportunity to block. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to watch out for that little pause in between the first swipe and the second swipe, because that is the window when you can actually lay a hit and disrupt this attack pattern, right? Okay, I think that might work. Right. Oh. What's next? We have a slime. The slime kind of crawls. Doesn't really have much to do with it. But when it crawls, it leaves acid. Leaves an acidic pool trail. So that's gonna hurt you. And it can actually also spit darts. Nah, come on. Spit darts. Or I guess spits acid darts. And we got a death, which I think is pretty much everything that we need here. Got the flying slime. That could be interesting. This one has... Well, this one just has a spitting dart thing. I think that's about it. That's as exciting as it goes. That and the death animation. And the flying eyeball. We already have an animation for that. Well, a couple of actually. We need death, flying, which, you know, we have that. Attack, hurt. Let's move this down here. Whoops. Flying, attack, hurt, death. And I think we need a close combat. You're going to be working 2 weeks just on the animations. Yeah, you know, welcome to solo game development. Unfortunately, I mean, I could be a cheap skate and just say, yeah, no, this, you know, when the enemy gets close to you, you take damage, and when the enemy dies, it just turns white and disappears. You know, I could do that, but the quality of the game is gonna suffer, right? I mean, this is a great demonstration of just how much work actually goes into making a game. So this is where, you know, this is where you really get tested on your patience and your dedication towards game development. But I kind of enjoy animation, so I can't say that I'm not looking forward to this. This to me is kind of exciting. I've done animation plenty of times before to know that, you know, if you know at least a little bit of what you're doing. This can be very fun. And we have the Ghost Doctor. That's right. The Ghost Doctor simply flies and grabs your soul. Sarge, how's it going? Alright, so we're gonna clear the notes here. So this particular enemy, it's actually an enemy that appears in the level if you spend too much time in a single level, in a single room. Now there's actually another thing that I wanted to put in, just make sure that I actually have it written down. Level design. So we got underground. I have to rewrite this. There's a lot of legacy stuff that has changed since then. But we have underground graveyard. Right. So we have actually added notes, secret passages. So there are hidden buttons in a select few rooms. Whoops. In select few rooms. When hit, the buttons open a secret door, which leads to, and this would be like some sort of a bonus thing. Maybe some place where you can hack and slash for a little bit more and grind and get a few more resource points, so to speak. A few more bits of Estus, which is what's the like the currency for it. Whenever you slay a living creature, you get Estus. And Estus is what you use on upgrades. Bonus area. Okay. Alright, so now what is this? Level design, underground hallway made out of multiples of the same room. This I would need to program into my level design, into my level designer. So what I'm thinking is, oh man. Would this be a single room, or would it be as it is right now in my game, where each individual room loads up its own set of enemies? What I'm thinking there is that what it says about the hallway, since we can't fit an entire hallway on the screen, we have to either fit it in chunks, but the question is this going to be, is this going to be in the same way as it is? So imagine we're in a hallway and then it loads up the next chunk of the hallway. Or would it actually be like this, as a matter of fact, a great example, when you can go from one side to another and see an entire hallway in just one go. That's kind of what I'm thinking. What would be better? What would be better for us? Maybe I should make my games free for all my patrons. I think that would be a great motivation. Yeah. Could be done. I mean, it would be a great way to make a career out of this without working for a studio. You know what? I think I might be able to create... I think I might be able to create something that can be used as a hallway puzzle. So we'll basically have a middle section. That's the one that can be repeated. And then we have the beginning section. So that spawns once. And then you create as many middle sections as you want, let's say, to make your hallway in length. And then the end section will end here. And that's when you'd be able to I would be able to generate a hallway of any size. Good lord, get away from me. Nasty creatures. Look like burnt onion rings with eyeballs. That's what they looked like before I put eyeballs on them, actually. Okay. Hoss, welcome back. Okay, so that's the hallway. So I think I'll do that. We have a single room, which is already what it is, and then we have the chamber. The chamber is supposed to be a densely packed area. This is where you have like a lot of enemies, and your friends just go into hack and slash, and that's when you hear the metal soundtrack, heavy metal soundtrack playing in the background as you go through hordes of enemies. I can't wait to program that in. God damn it! And I can't wait to play with my friends. Okay. So, man, there's so much stuff I gotta do before I can even do that. Jeez. Okay. So that actually that's about it for my active enemies. So let's go ahead and say that these are gonna be my active enemies. All right, and then we have these guys, which are passive, passive hostile entities. So we have pedestal orb, exploding chest, and enchanted bookshelf. So I'll go ahead and copy these. We'll go ahead and put these in here. These will be, whatever. Well, what are they gonna be? Orange, sure. Let's pick a light orange. So these are effectively just enchanted objects. So first of all, ooh, and I have a few more ideas for these actually. So we'll have a dart mask. Pretty self-explanatory, very Indiana Jones. Dart mask. And you know what? Maybe we can even do like archer statues. That would be pretty cool. I'm not sure if you'll be able to destroy them. Okay, stop coming up with more enemies. God damn it. I'll copy these over. Might as well, as long as they're here. Okay, just values. Okay. So, pedestal orb. The only thing that these things do here is shoots a fireball. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, nothing else. These aren't supposed to be super complicated enemies. We'll go ahead and do this. Values only. Dart mask. Shoots dart one direction. So darts, unlike fireballs, cannot change direction, so they can only shoot in one direction. These ones, however, can shoot in any direction, so 360 degrees. Then we have the archer statues, just like the pedestal orbs. Shoot arrows at player, or shoot arrows, oh whoops, shoot arrows, and this should be 360. And then we have the exploding chest. Values only. Okay, so lights, well, yeah, god damn it, just explodes, I guess. But the way it explodes is going to be a bit different. We need to give the player a bit of a time frame to retreat. So lights up in white flashes right before it explodes, so that we can give the player just a tiny bit of time to get out. May I ask, what kind of a day job do you have? I have my day job right now, at least, is part-time tutoring. I teach programming to kids for this agency. It's kind of, it doesn't pay for much at all, but up until that point, actually, that is my first job that's somewhat related to what I do, programming. Before then, it was just part-time jobs, which are insultingly terrible in terms of how much they pay. You can't survive on part-time jobs. So yeah, that's what my day job is right now, which is kind of the reason why I'm working hard on getting this done. This by mean not just the game, but the educational course, which is what I'm recording all of this for, and this is why I'm working really hard to get my Patreon off the ground. Same thing with educational stuff and these sort of videos, production videos. Yeah, that's what it is. Enchanted bookshelf. Spawns bookshelf. Wait, not spawns book. Damn it! I keep. Okay, spawns book, and then. Now see, the books can actually fly around. Enchanted book. Flies around. So the book will like flap like as if it's a bird. What kind of language in program do you know? I do, well, programming languages. I do a lot of web development, so HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, PHP, MySQL. So these are all the web development and website programming. Then we have C++, tiny bit of Java, but and GML, which is the game maker language. A little bit of Basic too. Basic being, I use Basic with AppGameKit. Yeah. That's what I have to work with. A little bit of C too, when I do hardware development, hardware coding. Things like 8-mile, micro MCU programming, basically embedded systems. Yeah. Enchanted book flies around, shoots. See, now different colored enchanted books, I think would be shooting a different sort of magic, is what I'm thinking. I think that would be pretty cool. So an enchanted book, let's say, I mean, I know you could go with like a red book firing or shooting fireballs, while a blue book shoots like, I don't know, maybe blue fire or icicles or something, something cliche like that. Yeah, you learned it all alone. Yeah, pretty much. As a need arises, I tend to learn what I need. Like, for example, the reason I learned web development was actually because my father was going to college for web development, and he needed help with programming, so he needed help to figure out, what the hell it was teaching, because they had an abysmally terrible teacher. So he would come home and he would tell me what they learned, and I would read the same stuff that they read, and then say, okay, so this is what it is, because I already had programming background from then on, so I could actually take a look at the stuff and figure out what it did. So it's interesting because my dad went to college for web development, but I learned it by proxy, and I think I learned it better than him. I mean, an age comes to, it still comes down to an age. Like when you're older, it's much more difficult for you to learn something. So I was able to help my dad learn a lot of the stuff, and he said that I explained it a lot better than the teachers or the tutors did. So that kind of worked out for me. Plus, at that time, I did need to learn web development because, if I wanted to get this program off the ground, this platform, the Concept Bay platform, then I would still need to learn this stuff anyways. So that would come in very handy, because now I know how to do server-side coding and client-side coding, JavaScript, and I know how to work with databases, and I even learned a little bit about web security, so that's kind of cool. So I can actually program my own website and upload all of this to my own website, and I don't have to rely on third-party sites and pay a share out of my income to them, because they do something that I don't know how to do. That's usually what you pay with these services. They handle the stuff for you, the stuff that you don't know how to do, and that's what you're paying for. So in that regard, and those services are never any good anyways. They lump up some generic templates that you pick from, and then you still have to struggle and learn how to make it work for you. So it works out in my case. Yeah, I learned stuff as a need arises. The stuff that I learned out of the sheer interest, as opposed to, let's say, need, was this. So GML, the Game Maker language, because that allowed me to create games with Game Maker Studio, and embedded systems programming. So things like Arduinos and Raspberry Pis, and being able to program software and hardware or firmware using those, because that was a legitimate interest of mine. One of the things that I did with those was create a custom lighting system. Here, man, every single month this particular post on Instagram gets further and further down, and it's getting more and more difficult to find it. But here. This is the lighting system that I've built and programmed. Okay, not that one. Where is it? Here. This one. That in the background. This guy. And I have two of these. And I programmed them specifically so that I could do okay, that's a rental, so don't mind that. But I programmed this so that I could do DJ gigs with my own lighting equipment. And that's where embedded systems programming became very handy. All right, so that lighting system in the background, this really cool project. I really liked working on it. I'm kind of working on a little presentation for a somewhat similar project, but what I want to use RGB LEDs to build a Minecraft-styled computer case, where it's like a computer case that mounts on the wall in a corner, and it has RGB addressable LEDs on all three sides, and they display Minecraft textures one by one. I think that would be a really cool project to do. But I have yet to shoot a video for it, like a presentation video for it, so, lots to be done. Lots to be done. And then this. Yeah. Very cool indeed. Very cool indeed. Okay. Flies around, shoots, enchanted book. I think that's about it. I want to say that's about it. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, that's just the generic ones. Those are just the generic ones. A Ghoul in Shackles, Axe Ghoul, Ball and Chain Ghoul. These are all the dungeon enemies. Then we have the crypt enemies. And then we have the castle enemies. Zombies in May costumes. Oh, it never gets old. Okay. So. Ghost Doctor. Doctor? There's a car accident. Patient in the ER. What's the diagnosis? Okay. Alright, let's try this out. So we got the Warlock. The question is, where am I going to animate him? Am I going to animate him in Krita, or am I going to animate him in Game Maker Studio? The advantage of using Game Maker Studio is that I don't have to bother with export and import. And I think I think that would be nice to do. The only downside is that it means that I have to use Krita's, I have to use GameMaker's animation tool set, which is kind of, ugh. It's okay, but ugh. Okay, come on, Birth of Reapers. I want to save a new project. We're about to go balls deep into a very big part of this game. Okay. You know, let me put on some music. Yeah. Let's see. What are we gonna do? Slacker. Yeah, let's put on some oldies. Have you maybe seen the Thin Matrix devlog for Equilinux? The Thin Matrix is the username, and the Equilinux is a game? Let's see. Thin Matrix. What is this? Microsoft Windows, game developer and YouTuber currently working at Equilinux. Low poly nature sandbox game. I see. Never heard of it, no. It looks like a sim game. I'm not the, like, sim games don't really tickle me fancy. So maybe that's why I haven't heard about it, because, you know, I'm not the target audience of this particular game. But, you know. Let's see. Why? What do you have to say about it? Okay, let's listen to some oldies. 50s hits. Elvis Presley, Chuck Berry. No, let's do the 60s. 60s hits. Beatles, Beach Boys. No. 80s, no. Country. And today's 90s, no. Okay, let's do 50s. Oh, 40s. No, that's okay, that's way too far back. 50s. I guess we can't go as early as 50s, we gotta go 60s. Actually, you know what? Let me just manually look this up. Maybe you can get some ideas of how to promote your channel and devlogs. That'd be a good idea. Generally speaking, promoting your project is a huge chunk of your work, and I do have to concentrate on it as well. At least put some time into it. Ooh, oldies. But yeah, I mean, either I start concentrating on the promotion. His game sold quite well because of the devlogs. That's a valid point. Doing like things like Screenshot Saturdays, having a proper press kit so that people and publications can actually talk about your project. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into promoting of your project. But to be honest, for now, maybe I can concentrate on the development of the game and focusing on maybe building like a core audience. So things that who watch me on Twitch. And then usually the way it works is that you stream your game, or sorry, not stream. You work on your game and you grow a following, and it's usually the following that helps you to push your game to other people. You know, provided you make a good game that appeals to your niche market. It's usually those people who become fanatically obsessed with your game because, you know, you're delivering the experience that they're looking for. They start sharing the game with their friends and they say, "This is an awesome game, we should play together." And this is how you get your game to spread. In my case, I'm weary of dividing my time. I'm weary of dividing my time between promotion and development. When the game is done, that's when I can concentrate on promotion, like actively, because I will have a finished product that I can actually promote. And usually, like, people say my game release was a flop at the point when they finish the game and then they let it into the wild, and then they concentrate on promotion. And since it takes a lot of work to promote your game, they realize that it's another huge chunk of work, and that's why they call it a flop, because they haven't put in that amount of time. In my case, I'm gonna have two products by the end of this. I'm gonna have a game and a game development course. If one succeeds, the other one will succeed as well. But there are two core different components into how the two are marketed. When you promote a game, you promote entertainment. When you promote a game development course, you promote skills and knowledge and education, right? Education to make your dream come true, like becoming a game developer. Two completely different pain points, two completely different markets. But if one works, chances are I can pull the other one with it. So in my case, I would much rather concentrate on the developing of the game, which will in turn develop the educational course. And the educational course is what I am personally more inclined to promote, because, as I said, marketing entertainment is you marketing for attention of other people. Why should these people spend their time playing your game? Marketing educational content is completely different, right? You're selling knowledge, you're selling an information technology product. So that's what I'm more concentrating on about, because I'm at the point in my life where I have to think more like an entrepreneur than as a hobbyist game developer. Right? So not so much concerned about promoting this right now. Right? What I need to promote is the game development content. In China, some companies specialize to download your game and get a lot of downloads, and it's legal. Interesting. Kind of useless for an educational course, though. Could be useful for faking Matrix for your game. So, has its marketing value, but then again, it's shady. Or I should say it's unethical. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and create, we have the thing for enemies. Let's create a group. This is the eyeball. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna create a group for each one of our enemies. We'll say this is the who, the what, the who, the what now. Warlock. Okay, so SBR enemy Warlock. Okay, now this is Warlock. Let's do like a walking cycle for beginners. And I have a piece of concept art for the Warlock. Oh yeah, and I was doing this lighting system that I want to test out the lighting for, but we'll have to do that later. Warlock. So I made concept art for the Warlock to have some sort of like a starting point. But this concept art it's only good for the general ballpark idea. Assistance. No, we do need this as previews. So none of this great detail that I have here is going to translate into pixel art. So I have to suggest things, fortunately. That's why I think concept art for this kind of project in that kind of resolution, a a little bit redundant. I mean, I could have made concept art in pixel art. That probably would have been a lot more helpful. But, you know, we can use this up. So Warlock has a staff. Right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do something like this. And oh, let's move this guy down. Actually, no, we can leave him here. I can even add another layer and put in the grounds plane. Okay. Like that. Right. Let's put in our keyframes. So, actually, we also need an idle animation for one of these guys. Okay, let's put on some tunes, shall we? I got a Patreon! Another one. Journey, wait, hold on. Journey coach. Let me link my Patreon to my Twitch, and let me turn on the brightness. Good lord, this place looks horrendous. One moment. Up with exposure, come on. There we go. We're not working in a dungeon. There we go. Okay, one moment. Let me see if I can link this guy up. Streamlabs. Yes. Oh, this is so much nicer than lo-fi music. Oh man, Patreon is connected. Let's see. Was there a pop-up when the Patreon came out? Let's see. Yes. Yes, there's the notification. Okay, if it didn't work before, then there it is now. Thank you. Also, you know, just in case that didn't happen before, well, here we go. All right. Thanks everybody for the support. This it's very pleasant. Okay. So this is going to be the idle animation. Let's actually just leave it like this for the time being. We can come back to it. Okay. Because I don't have an idle animation for the character, the main player character yet either, so that has to be added. Duplicate. Okay, so let's make a new layer.
Another artist pick.
Yo, this is John Newman. Back to my.
Oh God, no! Please, no, no! No, no talking. Thank you very much. Nope. What do you think of Pixel Edit? Why at the top and the bottom of the staff in separate layers? Well, that was kind of my mistake. I placed it in a different layer. But I needed to just separate that idle animation while keeping in mind what the shape was. What do you think of Pixel Edit? Haven't tried Pixel Edit. The only custom animating program before I found out about Krita that I've ever used was Spriter. Yeah, Spriter Pro, and to be honest, the only reason I used it is because I didn't know that other tools existed, like Krita. And now that I know that Krita exists, I'm like, yeah, there's no reason for me to use anything else. Okay. Okay. So, first of all, no onion skins. Second of all, let's get rid of these two. And let's go ahead and say 7 frames a second. Okay, let's do another one. And it would be great if we could actually also see the next frame. Let's see. Let's see. Whoa. What is going on? Wait, what is that button? Damn it. I need to take a look at the shortcuts real quick. What do you think of Pixel Edit? Right. Shortcuts. Come on. Shortcuts. Image editor. Okay. Play. I have to go now. Thank you for the stream. I appreciate the company, man. Thank you for dropping by. And thank you for the conversation. Okay, so play. Oh yeah, there's no searching here. Bollocks. Okay. Toggle pick pawn animation. Toggle animation playback on and off. So this is numpad 3. Really? Numpad 3? But then I have to use my other hand. And that makes no sense. Numpad 3. Oh, number 3. Okay, so number 3 will actually work just as fine. Cool. Okay. Now, what about toggling the onion skin? Onion skin. Being able to disable that real quick with the keystroke would be helpful. Toggle between preset brushes. Playback speed, empty frame. It's right here, somewhere. Open color picker. Actually do something real quick. Okay. Oh man, it's such a mess. Controllers everywhere, stuff. Okay. So, onion skin. Come on, tell me that we have it. You know what would help? If I actually open the manual as a browser extension, as opposed to opening it in the editor. Let's see. Help. Use an external browser. Ah, manual language. Nice. We have German, French, Spanish, and English. Hey! We have English, we have German, we have French. We've had all those people in this stream. Okay. There we go. So the reason why I want to do that is because if I actually open up the manual now, it opens up here. So I can do things like use the search key. Whoops, shortcut. Come on. That's the only downside, is it's dependent on the speed of your browser. Okay, shortcuts. So we'll do image editor and onion. Really? No onion skin. Toggle the grid. Even I'm French, I prefer using English when I use software. Makes sense. It's whatever's easier for you. So what is it about the French translations that that intimidates you to, well, promotes you to use English translations, English software versions? Okay, how about this? Toggle. Animation playback, ping pong animation. Yeah, doesn't seem like we have onion skin here. Okay, that sucks. Alright, whatever. We'll make this work. And this might work. I need to... So this one needs to move front and down. And this one just needs to move down. Like this. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Problems when you use when you make codes, the lone language is English. Yeah, somebody else said that. Unless that was you. Someone was saying the exact same thing, that the programming language is English, so you have to use English. And there's no like native programming languages. Imagine a Chinese programming language. Oh my god, the thought just scares me. Alright. So this has to be a 2-cycle animation. So we're gonna copy all of these, go to the end, paste, and then this is actually where we're gonna have to remove some of these things. So right around here, we need to get something like this. We're done. Yep. Guess we'll do let's see. Down. Now we'll do something like this. Just roughly, at least. Okay, this could work out. It'd be easier to tell what's going on after we add things like color.
Did you hear that lonesome whippoorwill? It sounds too good to fly. The midnight train.
So now that we have like a rough-ish animation in, we can go in and add some features. And refine this.
so long when time goes. The moon just went behind the cloud, and I'm so lonesome I could.
So scrawny.
Did you ever see a
So these guys, I think, should they be the same color as the environment, or should I go for like a bluish color so that we could separate them from the environment?
that means he's lost the will to live, and I'm so lonesome I could cry. The silence of a falling star lights up a purple sky. And
Oh.
as I wonder where you are, I'm so lonesome I could cry. Yeah, I could cry. I could cry. I could cry. I could cry. I could cry.
This is Sam from Greta Van Fleet, and you're about to hear one of the most definitive songs of all time. It opens up with a snare hit that sounds like the shot fired that's heard around the world, and it opens up into just an absolutely massive ballad. So here is one of the best songs ever recorded, Like a Rolling Stone, Bob Dylan.
He's very old. He's supposed to be very old, or he's supposed to be very scrawny. So we're supposed to go for this hunchback sort of a thing going on here. It's very difficult to show this, all of this awesome detail in, like, yeah.
But you know you only used to get juiced in it. Nobody's ever taught you how to live out on the street, and now you're gonna have to get used to it. You say you never compromise with the mystery tramp, but now you realize he's not selling any alibis as you stare into the vacuum of his eyes and say, do you want to
Okay, so this actually has a very nice skull look to it. So if I can replicate this...
with no direction home. A complete unknown, like a rolling stone.
Now we have a reference.
Ah, you never turned around to see the frowns on the jugglers and the clowns when they all did.
The king looks like the Helm Deep King in Lord of the Rings. Sort of. It's... I wanted to do this sort of a... like a stolen crown thing that he just found somewhere in this dungeon. Or like the Pope's hat. Both of them look kind of really cool.
Diplomat who carried on his shoulder a Siamese cat. Ain't it hard when you discover that he really wasn't where it's at? After he took from you everything he could steal. How does it feel? How does it feel to have you on your own?
Ooh, okay. Let's see if we can do that and
Like a complete
separate the jaw.
like a rolling stone.
Okay.
Princess
Now there isn't like a front arm that's going back and forth. I think I'll add that on a separate layer afterwards.
exchange.
You designed the characters, sorry my bad English. I have not had a single inkling that you were talking bad English, to be honest. And yes, I've designed these characters as a part of the concept art stage for this game.
Napoleon in rags, and the language that he
Woo.
used. Go to him now, he calls you, you can't refuse. When you ain't got nothing, you got nothing to lose.
Noise. Noise indeed. Okay, let's go ahead and pick... Let's pick a color for this guy. And I'm thinking I'm gonna go for something very desaturated. Desaturated gray. Cold gray. At least we're gonna try with cold gray. Whoop, too much.
Like a complete unknown. Like a rolling stone.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
What would I give for just a few moments? What would I give just to have you near? Tell me you will try to slip away somehow.
One tool and shift click and select every pixel with the same color. Oh yes, that's right. They actually made that tool. Holy crap, I totally forgot. Thank you. Let's see. So if we go shift click. Oh, perfect. Oh man, that's perfect. That's what I needed. Okay. So let's go with like a dark brown, less color.
Tell you something now.
Maybe more color, just a bit. Okay. So we'll have to do something like this.
But please believe me, darling, I don't mean to hurt you.
Okay, now I don't want to do the entire staff brown.
Without him knowing you gone, then we could meet somewhere where we're both not known.
Something like this.
And just can you slip away? Slip away.
See, the color is going to start separating the layers.
Oh, can you slip away, baby? I'd like to see you right now, darling. Can you slip away now, baby? 'Cause I got to see you.
You don't know
Oof. That is a huge arm.
you don't know me. Don't say I can't go with other boys. And don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. And please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. 'Cause you don't know me. Don't try to change me in any way. You don't know me. Don't tie me down 'cause I never stay. I don't tell you what to say.
Ooh, actually, that might work. It actually looks like a, whoops, excuse me, front finger, the point finger. Nice.
To live my life the way I want. To say and do whatever I please.
Nice.
Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. And please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. I don't tell you what to say. Don't tell you what to do. So just let me be myself. That's all I ask of you. I'm young and I love to be young. I'm free.
Just you know why you and I will by and by
Okay.
no true love ways. Sometimes we'll sigh. Sometimes we'll cry, and you'll know why. Just you and I know true love ways. Throughout the day, our true love ways.
Okay, so the only thing is with this palette, I could have sworn that GameMaker Studio had a tool for creating a color palette for all of, by sampling all the different colors in your image. But maybe not. Maybe a different software. But there is a palette of a sort here, but it kind of, it only works when you sample colors here. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to go for a darker. Let's go for a lot darker, and maybe even shift the hue a bit towards green. This is supposed to be the back side. That's a little hard to see now. So maybe we'll actually go just up a bit. Oh, actually, that's what it is. Maybe 1.4? Maybe. Maybe. Although I don't recall myself using a lot of the GameMaker's paint tools in 1.4 either, so could be.
And bothered me every night.
Okay, let's actually do this. Let's just go by one down from that color. You know, this is way too 50s. This is way too funk classics. Oldies, biggest hits from 50s, 60s, and 70s. That's what I want. Let's try that. I think they removed a lot of features in the image manipulation part of the program. I don't think they just added or reprogrammed those features yet. Neil Diamond. Cool. I think they're still in the process of re-adding a lot of the tools for the image editor. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Now, should I do the back leg as well? I feel like I should. Actually painted the wrong leg. Okay, so this has to be the back. Go.
The song that we now know and love as Get Together was originally recorded as Let's Get Together by the Kingston Trio in 1964. The Byrds, without David Crosby, recorded the song around the same time. It was also recorded by the Wee Five as a follow-up to their big hit, You Were On My Mind, and it managed to crack the top 40 with that version. But the one we all know and remember best is by the Youngbloods from 1967. And here it is, the Youngbloods doing Get Together.
Okay. There's a bit of a hunch right there. That looks good when it's actually present.
Love is but a song we sing, feels the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry.
Okay. Jesus, what is this? Here we go. Actually, front. See, this is where his head should still be out front.
Some may come and some may go. He will surely pay his. When the one that left us here
Such an outline. Charé, his second arm. Charé is his second arm. What? Is that his second arm? Or such as outline. You're talking about the features that were removed. Yeah, that was a good feature. Okay. Where's his second arm? I haven't put in the second arm yet. I think I'm gonna put it as a second layer once I figure out what's going on here with the back layer. At least that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so maybe I will make the back, whoops, the back arm just a tiny bit darker. Maybe by about that much. Well, this is not very helpful. Yeah, that's not really gonna tell me much.
smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now.
View split mode. Interesting. Center fit. Yeah, I was wondering if I could change the background to be white. But I have to go into properties to do that, so let's not do that. Awesome. Fantastic.
If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Listen. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand.
See, the only reason I'm using GameMaker's built-in animation tools right now is just because if I power through all of the shortcomings, it will save me on the trouble of exporting and importing the animations. Okay, his head is rapidly changing shapes. What the? Okay, let me drop this in the level and see how this looks there. So let's create an asset layer. Drop this guy in here. Make sure he's 5 by 5. Let's hope he's not too big. The middle picture of the top of the stick is gray. 1 second. But the middle picture of the top of the stick is gray. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really by any means done coloring it. I'm just... I just want to see the scale comparison. Let's see. Oh, this is actually the wrong room. Now let's add it here, and let's add it right there. That's it's pretty big. It's pretty big, actually. Kind of big. Although, see, once again, I thought I could dial in the size of him just by kind of feel. I thought I could feel his size in, but you know what? Because he's a warlock, maybe we can permit him to be a bit bigger. But from now on, we have to use the player model as a reference. For sure, even with the animations. This is a little bit too big. Looking good, though. The darker arm is really separating the layers, though. So that's what I was looking for to get. Okay. Good. Good. I am satisfied. Okay, so now, let's see. So we have this dark robe and the crown. Let's see. So if I go with this color, gotta make sure that a part of his head is showing up. Not bad. Okay. So 4-3. So 4-3. We'll do like that. Nice. Okay, I can actually just slap this and copy it over like that. Whoops. Actually, maybe that should actually happen. Every time he steps down, the crown just slides off his head. Whoops. And then we'll do that. That. Step. Step. Whoop. Come on. Step. And then it begins. It looks like it's bouncing. Pretty cool. Okay, so let me make that even more apparent. So we'll do down. So step down, and then we'll do like erase that, and then we'll do something like erase. Actually, that would be pretty good, not as an animated piece, but just to make it look like it's bent. A bent, yeah, a bent crown. Okay, now we're gonna pick a darker shade of that, maybe even like that. We're gonna go slightly into red. That'll be the back side. Actually, that's a little bit too heavy. a little bit too much. Let's just go maybe one shade darker and one shade further. You know, still too strong. Let's just go one shade darker. Okay, let's take this, desaturate, and make it gray. Let's see.
Every limbo boy and girl, all around the limbo world, gonna do the limbo rock, all around the limbo clock. Jack be limbo, Jack be quick, Jack go under limbo stick, all around the limbo clock. Now hey, let's do the limbo rock. Limbo lower now.
Nice. Okay.
Limbo lower now. How low can you go? First you spread your limbo feet, then you move to limbo beat. Limbo ankle, limbo knee, bend back like a limbo tree. Jack be limbo, Jack be quick, Jack go on the limbo stick, all around the limbo clock. Hey, let's do the limbo rock.
Oh, come on. Here we go.
Get yourself a limbo girl, give that chick a limbo world. There's a limbo moon above, you will fall in limbo love. Jack be limbo, Jack quick, Jack go under limbo stick, all around the limbo clock. Hey, let's do the limbo rock. Don't move that limbo bar, you'll be a limbo star. How low can you go?
One writer called this next song psychologically deeper than anything the Beatles had recorded before it and extraordinary for its time. And the song I'm talking about is Ticket to Ride, released by the Beatles in 1965 and featured in their movie Help. Here's the Beatles, Ticket to Ride.
Okay, let's try this out. So we're gonna go with a grayish. No, you know what? Let's go with contrast color. Let's go with the brown. Let's go more into the red, but desaturate it.
She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, and she don't care. She said that living with me was bringing her down, yeah.
Have to go. It's nearly 1 a.m. Oof. All right. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate the company.
She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care.
quite sure to do right by me before she gets to saying goodbye. Sure to think twice, sure to do right by me. I think I'm gonna be sad. I think it's today, yeah. The girl that's driving me mad is going away, yeah. Ah, she's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care. I don't know why she's riding so high. Sure to think twice, sure to do right by me before she gets to saying goodbye. Sure to think twice, sure to do right by me. Said that living with me was bringing her down, yeah. She would never be free when I was around. Ah, she's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, and she don't care. My baby don't care. My baby don't care. My baby don't care. My baby don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't really need a running animation here. This should be just fine. Okay, and we're gonna go with some sort of like an amber color here.
Your everlasting summer, you can see it fading fast. So you grab a piece of something that you think is gonna last. Well, you wouldn't even know a diamond if you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious, I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years? Stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years? Stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? You've been telling me you're a genius since you were 17. In all the time I've known you, I still don't know what you mean. The weekend at the college didn't turn out like you planned. The things that pass for knowledge I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years? Stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years? Stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? I spent a lot of money and I've spent a lot of time. The trip we made to Hollywood is etched upon my mind. After all the things we've done and seen, you find Are you reeling in the years? Stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years? Stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love comes tumbling down. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour, when there's no one else around. I'm gonna take you, girl, and hold you, and do all the things I told you in the midnight hour. Yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. One more thing I just want to say right here. I'm gonna wait till the stars come out and see that twinkle in your eyes. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love begins to shine. You're the only girl I know. It really loves me so in the midnight hour.
Might be able to even go darker and gray.
Yeah. All right. Play it for me one time now.
Whoops.
That's when my love comes tumbling down. I'm gonna wait when the midnight hour. That's when my love begins to shine. Just you and I. Oh, baby, just you and I. Nobody around, baby, just you and I. All right. You know what? I'm gonna hold you in my arms, just you and I. Oh, yeah, in the midnight hour.
Ooh.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect when you just a little bit, baby, just a little bit. Oh, just a little bit, mister, just a little bit. I ain't gonna do you wrong. Why you gone? I ain't gonna do you wrong, 'cause I don't wanna. All I'm asking for a little respect, just a little bit, baby, just a little bit. Oh, just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm out to give you all my money, and all I'm asking in return, honey, give me
Take a look at this.
my promise when you get home. Just a little bit, baby, just a little bit. Oh,
Not bad. I think we can work with this.
Norman Greenbaum wrote a song with several references to Jesus. Although he's Jewish, he said in an interview with the New York Times he was inspired to write the song after watching country star Porter Wagner singing a gospel song on TV. And Greenbaum thought, well, I could do that even though I know nothing about gospel music. He says he wrote the words in 15 minutes, and it's become an immortal song. Probably the second most requested song to play at memorial services. The song in question here is Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum.
I might want to do something about the darker shade behind there. You know what else I want to do? I'm not a fan of the image editor. Let's see. Background color, secondary color. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of the grid being gray. Although, it being gray actually kind of helps with... Okay, never mind. A gray grid helps with picking up proper values. If you go full white or full black grid, then you're gonna have a lot of trouble. Okay, so what I want to deal with right now . Okay. So this is where I probably want to add a second layer. Oh god, no. No, thank you very much. No news. Don't need your propaganda. Not bad. Not bad indeed. Okay, so we can come back to this if we need to polish. Now we have an idle. So how about we'll go to, or we'll take this walk, we'll duplicate it. So this is gonna be, I want to do this chant thing just to try something out. So we'll delete these. We'll go here, a new layer. Okay. Do that. We don't need this. Add a new layer. Do something like this. So yes, and then we'll say in here we'll want to just slightly lower it, and then here we want to slightly raise it. Alright, so it's kind of like a up and down motion. Alright, so here
Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby's where I From the park you hear the happy sounds of a carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and french fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby, it's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be making love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. Blanket with my baby, where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
You know, I might actually even be able to lower this down a bit more. There we go. More jumpy motion. This looks like Professor Farnsworth. Okay, so let's get the silhouettes down, maybe. So we have this, then we have, let's go ahead and get the copy of the walk again. This time this is going to be staff. Yeah, the staff smash. New layer.
Robert Lamb from the band Chicago wrote the song Saturday in the Park in 1971. He says it was written as I was looking at footage from a film I'd shot in Central Park over a couple of years, and as I watched the film I made some notes based on what I was seeing and what I experienced, and it was really that kind of peace and love thing that happened in Central Park and in many parks all over the world, perhaps on a Saturday, where people just relax and enjoy each other. Here's Chicago, Saturday in the Park.
There we go. Shimmy me bop bop bop. Yep. Precisely.
Saturday in the park, I think it was the 4th of July. Saturday in the park,
Okay, this is not the kind of oldies that I was hoping to get. I was hoping to get more more like oldies pop than oldies like big band stuff. Okay, this could really be even more extreme.
Singing for a song. Will you help him change the world? Can you dig it? Yes, I can. And I've been waiting such a long time for today. Slow motion riders fly the colors of the day. A bronze man still can tell stories his own way. Listen, children, all is not lost, all is not lost. Oh, no, no. Funny days in the park. Every day's the 4th of July. Funny days in the park. Every day's the 4th of July. People reaching, people touching, a real celebration. Waiting for us, waiting for us.
I'm thinking maybe this could actually lift up a bit. Like there's some sort of like a motion. Whatchamacallit, some sort of like inertia involved in there. Actually, maybe instead of that, let's go back. But we do need some more motion in the staff. Now this, I feel like this could actually be a heck of a lot more dynamic. I think what I can do is I can do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he goes heh, and then he goes bam, and then it loops these 4 animations while the spell, or these 4 frames while the spell is being you know, create it. I think that would actually work out pretty well. Let's see. Not bad. One pixel at a time. We can get it done. Nice. Okay, this frame is actually kind of screwing up the loop that I was gonna go for. I'm not sure about the blur here. There should be some sort of a leading action.
If I fell in love with you, would you promise to be true and help me understand? 'Cause I've been in love before and I found that love was more.
Okay, so if this is gonna be the start, this ending animation for that motion, then we'll say.
Give my heart to you. I must be sure from the very start that you would love me more than her.
Yeah, so that would be the starting animation.
Oh, please don't run and hide if I love you too. Oh, please don't hurt my pride like her. 'Cause I could
The only thing is it's kind of big.
the pain and I would be sad.
I think this is getting kind of big.
Was in vain, so I hope you see that I would love to love you and that she will cry when she learns we are two. 'Cause I couldn't stand the pain and I would be sad.
Yeah, so swing, yeah, so and that needs to have some frames in there as well.
That I would love to love you and
So we'll need 2 frames, one here, and we'll need one here.
we are two. If I fell in love with you.
This would be the first.
Things I want, a lot of things that I'd like to be.
And then before this one, we're gonna have to say there's gonna be something close to the ending frame.
There's just one little dream.
So something like this.
I've got to win. I can't be the loser with you.
Something along the line. Okay. Okay, so this needs to have more of a movement. A lot more movement.
Baby, say that you'd be staying here, 'cause I couldn't face the day if
And bam. Okay. So this probably will need another frame in between. And it's probably going to be exactly in between these two. So we're talking about staff being somewhere around here.
Cause everyone fell through. I've given up so many things. Don't ask me to
And the body being somewhere around here. Because this one's going to be kind of a leading action frame. Bam. And yes. There we go. And chances are... Yeah. Okay, so there is going to be another frame. So, and that's when it starts moving.
ain't so easy to find. But if you stand by me, girl, I'll keep peace of mind. I can't give you the world.
And okay. Yes. Now I can either slow it down in code or I can slow it down here in the animation. To be honest, I do feel like this particular frame could use just a tiny bit of blur. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that could be, that little back bend could be pushed even more, I think. Alright. Nice. You know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna get some more tea. We'll work on it just a little bit more, alright?
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. Flood threats persist in the Midwest, where Vice President Pence is wrapping up a tour of waterlogged Omaha. At least 3 people have been killed by the floodwaters.
We mourn for the families of those who lost their lives. are truly grateful for the extraordinary response by public safety officials, first responders, the National Guard.
Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts says nearly 70% of the state is a disaster.
This is the most widespread damage we've ever experienced in our state, in our state's history. It is truly an epic disaster.
Vice President Pence says the administration will expedite disaster declarations for Nebraska and Iowa. Officials outside of Houston say they're now taking an offensive stance against a massive fire that's burned for 2 days at a chemical storage plant. We now know how long federal officials were interested in President Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen.
Newly unsealed documents show Robert Mueller had his sights on Michael Cohen much earlier than was known, a full 9 months before the FBI raid on his home, office, and hotel room.
Mr. Cohen, why do you think they raided?
The FBI obtaining a search warrant for Cohen's emails in July 2017, investigating several possible crimes, including what they call a scheme to defraud multiple banks.
ABC's Pierre Thomas. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says security remains heightened in the wake of Friday's terror attack on 2 mosques.
This really was the efforts of one person. This was an attack by one person. But we want to give that sense of security, so the police will continue to be at the mosques during worship throughout the country, and that will continue for the near future.
The first 2 victims to be buried are a father and his 15-year-old son. Stocks closed mostly lower on Wall Street. You're listening to ABC News.
Okay, here we go. So, I'd say just a little bit more, and we'll get some good stuff done. Let's do 40s hits, shall we? Yes. Yes, sir. There it is. That's what I want to listen to.
It's a G.I. jive, man alive. It starts with a bugle blowing reveille over your bed when you arrive. Hey, Jack, that's a G.I. jive. Rudely toot.
Okay, so let's place these guys in this room just to compare.
out of your seat into the street.
Yeah, see, this thing is bigger.
Or read if you're
That's not good.
your duty is to salute the L-I-E-U-T. But if you brush the L,
We only got about 20 minutes left. I'm gonna call it a night and get up early tomorrow.
it's just a G.I. jive. Man alive, they give you a private tank that features a little device called fluid drive. Yeah, Jack,
Come on.
after you
There we go.
chunk all your junk back in your trunk,
Yeah.
fall on your bunk, clunk. It's just a G.I. jive, man alive. They give you a private tank that features a little device called fluid drive. Hey, Jack, after you revive, chunk all your junk back in your trunk, fall on your bunk, clunk. If you're PFC and you fail to salute the LT, the MP makes you can't be on the QT. Then you'll go to sleep before you count to 5. But when you wake up in the morning, you'll have to do the G.I. jive.
That's why the Chinks do it, Japs do it, up in Lapland, little Laps do it. Well, let's do it. Let's fall in love. In Spain, the best upper sets do it. Lithuanians and let's do it. Well, let's do it.
Yeah, see, the staff hitting animation is kind of big.
Electric eels, I might add, do it. Though it shocks 'em, I know.
I'm gotta keep a reference object handy.
Do it. Way to bring me shad roll. Some Argentines without means do it. People say in Boston even beans do it. Well, let's do it. Let's fall in love. The Dutch in old Amsterdam do it. Not to mention the Finns.
Alright.
Think of Siamese.
You know what? This would be a good point to actually end it. I'm running out of energy, so better not, botch this up and do a half-ass job. So, yeah, that is it for this live stream. Thanks everybody for dropping by. Thanks for everyone who's become a Patreon, and I'll continue this tomorrow. All right, here we go. Beautiful. All right.